embarrassing. Your design skills are non-existent. I can't design. You definitely can't design. Once again, you're relying on me to do everything for you. So I've got a new installation of WordPress installed on a live server. I've got the domain wolfforms.com, and I'm just going to start by installing a few plugins just to get us to the starting point. So I'm installing the classic editor plugin, which will make everything a lot easier than using the block editor. We're not going to be needing the block editor, so it just makes it a nightmare to use. We're going to install Yoast SEO for SEO, obviously, makes that very easy. And we're also going to install Advanced Custom Fields Pro. Now, I know some of you have got a problem with paid for things. Just trust me, this plugin is so worth the money. This plugin is going to completely change the way you build WordPress websites if you don't use it already. And you're going to see in this video how. You're just going to see. So I really do recommend that you get it. They do have a free version. I'm not sure exactly what the limitations are between the paid and the free version. My guess is you're going to need the paid one to be able to do what I do, because it makes life easy. And that's kind of how things work. If you want good things, you got to pay for them. So this is how I can build stuff so quickly, because I pay for the crucial things. I pay for advanced custom fields. Okay, just quickly, I'm just downloading a starter theme from underscores.me. That's what I'm doing here. This will be the starting point for our theme, obviously. If you can't tell by now, I pre-recorded this build because this is like the second time I did this, because the first time I was trying to talk and do it at the same time, and it was slow. It's quite hard to do that. Very hard, in fact. The video was becoming hours long, so what I did instead is what I'm doing here. I just blitzed through the build, just did it without talking, and then I said, okay, just talk afterwards. It's going to be better for everyone. So you can see here, I've downloaded the starter theme from underscores.me, and this is on my local computer, but we're not going to actually create a local WordPress installation. This is just the theme in a random folder on my computer. Just quickly here, this is important, delete package.json if you're going to use the underscores.me theme. It just breaks everything when you try and install Tailwind, which we're going to do in a second. So this is the situation we're at. We've got our live server with our WordPress installation. I didn't show that. We've downloaded the theme from underscores.me, and we're now installing Tailwind CSS onto our new theme. So I'm going to cut this bit because it takes ages, so it's probably going to be fast forwarded or something. There you go. So we're just going through the process using the Tailwind CSS docs just to follow the instructions exactly how to install it. So I do have a video on how to do this. It's a pretty terrible video. It was probably the first video I made. Feel free to watch it. Might put a link to it here. I don't really know how to do that, but if I can figure that out, then I'll do that. And if I have the time, I will do that. If not, it's pretty simple. I mean, you're just watching me do it now. By the way, any questions, just quickly, what I'm doing here, don't put a space between the comma. That's important. No space, it'll break things. Can't remember what I was saying, but yeah. So yeah, installing Tailwind into the theme, going through the process, just creating our input.css file. And then once we've done that, we can run our command to watch for changes in our theme files, which will generate a new style sheet. And that's the style sheet which we're going to output on our website. We're going to enqueue it. So we're going to do that in our functions.php in a second. So yeah, this is pretty, look, if you just look up there where I'm waving the mouse, you're going to see a new folder is going to appear. Once it's built, it's going to be a dist folder with an output.css file inside it. There you go. So this is the file we're going to enqueue. into our theme. So this will load when we load our theme. Pretty good. So I've got my little list there, as you can see. I'm not going to do it in exactly that order, but it's just for reminders because it does get a bit confusing sometimes. Remember what I was going to say. By the way, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, just leave a comment below and I'll answer. I know we're going through it quite quickly, but I have to, because if we didn't go through it quickly, we're going to be here all day, trust me. So hopefully what I'm doing at the moment is self-explanatory and shouldn't need explaining, but just drop me a question. I'm happy to help. And other people will be happy to help as well, I'm sure. Just help each other out. I mean, there'll be people that don't know what I'm doing right now. This is enqueuing the script, and a lot of you that are familiar with WordPress will have enqueued scripts hundreds of times. So yeah. So by the way, I decided to use WordPress for this because I thought it'd be the most appropriate. Most people are going to be doing WordPress websites, and I just think it's the easiest way and the most common way. So this is how I did the logo. I just searched for wolf and that one at the bottom came up, and then I made it the same width and I resized it so that it was that lovely rectangle shape. And then I extracted the colors from that logo. I couldn't actually just click on the image and get the colors, so I had to just do this little trick. I used the color picker to see what the colors were. It was a bit annoying, but that's just a little hint for you. So this is obviously Canva. Should have mentioned that, but yeah, that's how I got the colors. So I wanted to use the grays. There's a light gray, a dark gray, black, you can use the black, and the yellow. So I didn't put any real, there you go, that's the colors, I've written them down earlier. I didn't put that much time and effort into that logo. I just saw one I liked, picked it, changed it around to a rectangle shape, and then we're good to go. So I'm just going to add those colors from the logo to the Tailwind config file. So that's what I'm doing now, just extending the colors. So I'm going to call them wolf yellow, wolf light gray, and wolf dark gray. So this is just so I can reference them later. Potentially not the best names. I could have given them with the underscores as well. Just a little hint for you. I think if you want to keep it hyphens rather than underscores, just if you put the name of the class or the name of the color, sorry, in quotation marks, it should let you do that. I did it like that and kind of regret it, but I've always done it like that. It's just a bit annoying, but it works. But play around with it. I'm sure you'll find what works for you. So I'm just adding those colors so I can use them later and get on with it. I didn't mention the website is going to be for a software as a service type website. So this is just a reference to the Tailwind docs. Just a software as a service type website for generating forms, like nice interactive forms. And I think I'm going to make it for, well, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. If I could actually make this into a real software as a service, we'll see. But it's just a hypothetical one at the moment. If by the time this is finished, you go on the website, you might see that I've actually built something. You might not. I'm not sure. So it's just going to be for interactive forms, just for the sake of having an example to work with. So I didn't have any content planned out. I literally promise you, this is just me going for it in one go. Kind of one go. I mean, I did the installation of WordPress beforehand, but this actual build is going for it in one go, not knowing exactly what content I'm going to use, not knowing how I'm going to style it. Just, I'm going to use the Tailwind components. I'm not going to think about design, and we're going to see how it looks and see how we get on. But this is what you need to do to build stuff quickly. Don't think too much. If you're not naturally good at design, don't waste your energy on design. Focus on what you're good at. If you're good at getting stuff done quickly, getting the content out there, getting stuff done, then that's what you need to do, because speed is everything. Speed is everything. So just remember that. Don't beat yourself up if you're not good at design. I'm not going to design a single thing in this video, and the website is going to look decent. Trust me. Trust me. Okay. So what I just did there was upload the theme that we've just added Tailwind to the WordPress site. So this is what it looks like currently. This is now us activating the new theme, and it's obviously going to look different when we refresh it. I know that the page just changed there. That's because from the previous time I filmed it, I didn't delete the page, and now you're going to see me remake the homepage, but doesn't matter. So that's the theme, looking very standard. It's a very standard starting point. It's the underscores.me theme. So we're just going to make a homepage now, and then we're going to set the homepage in our WordPress settings. And this is going to allow us to create a template file front page, which we'll use to display our front page. So that's what we're doing here. So yeah, hopefully this is all making sense. Like I said, do leave a comment if you have any sort of questions. Hopefully you've experienced with WordPress already. I'd like to think so. And if you don't, go and do some research. If you're just getting into web development, WordPress is like top dog. So it's worth learning, because it's something you're always going to be able to fall back on it and make websites and make money. So I use it for my marketing websites. So this is what this is going to be. This is going to be the marketing website for a software as a service, which would be built in Laravel, and I would host the software as a service on a separate domain, or on a subdomain, sorry. So the marketing website is on www.wolfforms.com, and the actual software will be on app.wolfforms.com or similar, whatever I decide. Probably app. It's quite a common choice to go with. So what I just did there is I added a Tailwind class to see if it's working. And every time I make a change, I need to re-upload the files from my local machine to the live server to make sure that those changes are reflected on the live server. So what's happening there is, I think there was a bit of caching. So sometimes it won't necessarily show straight away. So if you do what I'm doing here, inspect page, and then do a hard reload, like clear the cache or clear. You're about to see what I do. Let's see what it says. I'm going to do it any minute now. If you hold down, click long hold on the refresh button, you'll see the options appear, which is what I'm about to do. I'm just checking at the moment that I have actually included the class and I have uploaded the right file. It's just for some reason, it's not really my fault there. Empty cache and hard reload. So that's what it was. It's not going to be constantly throughout this that I need to do that, but sometimes it just happens. Normally, if you're adding a class for the first time, which is what I did. So I added that background red 500, and you had to rebuild the CSS, and then I re-uploaded the CSS in the dist folder. Very important, you need to keep doing that every time I make a change. And that's why it probably cached the old style sheet. So that's why that happened. So that's a lot of talking. I might start to go a bit quiet and let you just watch and interject when I feel it's necessary, because I feel like I'm talking a lot. This is now one of those moments though, however, that I need to talk. So I've just made a front page.php file, and this is going to be the template file for our front page. And I'm just copying the page.php file into that front page, because then I've got a starting point. Looking back, I didn't really need to. I just needed the get header and get footer, and maybe that main element. But I actually made a mistake here. I deleted the wrong file. I deleted all the information from page instead of front page. Bit annoying, but you're about to see me just sort it out. A bit of a silly boy there. So when you're doing things and you know you're filming, when you make a mistake, it's 10 times worse, because you're just like so annoying, and especially it's something stupid, which is what that is. So I'm just gonna copy the correct code over and then delete the wrong and then paste back the old one. Ah, stupid, so stupid. Cheers. We'll get there in the end. We'll get there in the end. Ah, silly boy, silly boy. So that front page is now sorted. So I need to, once again, re-upload it. Now, I think what we're about to do, so now you can see that's the front page. What we're about to do is start using advanced custom fields and Tailwind UI together. Now, I said before, these tools are amazing for speeding up development. So I'm going to show you how to do we're going to do a nav first. And I'm able to show you this one because we're going to do the freely available one. I probably would have chosen a different one. If I was building it myself, I would have used one of the other ones with a button on the other side, but because I want to actually show you the code, I can't show you the paid for code, obviously, because I'd be basically probably breaching copyright, giving away paid content. It's just a stupid thing to do. So I'm just creating a file for my nav, and I've called it top.php. It's going to be the top nav bar, and I put it in a nav folder. So we're just going to output that in the header. So in our header file, in our WordPress theme. So I'm going to get rid of all the existing stuff that was in the header tags, and I'm just going to put a get template part, which references the root of the folder, of the theme, and then I'm going to just put the path to that file. Important to note, you don't need to add .php to the end of the file. It just knows, which is clever. So that is now pointing at our nav. So we have to upload that. This is one where I often make a mistake. I will often forget to upload the template parts, which is what I've done there. So it's not going to work because I've just been stupid again, and I haven't actually uploaded the nav top.php file. So I'm thinking I'm being clever right now, and I'm just hard reloading it, thinking, oh, it's not my fault. I couldn't make a mistake. I don't make mistakes, but I made a mistake. But I'm thinking, oh, I needed to put a / there. Then I realized I clocked. I was like, no, you're just being stupid. Here's that. There you go, little wiggle. So it's these little things. When you're starting out, you can lose hours to something stupid like that. The more you start building, the more you get familiar with these mistakes, you're going to realize, oh, okay, you have a little checklist that you probably go through. Have I even uploaded the file? Have I done whatever? So don't beat yourself up if you make mistakes like that. We all have been there. We've all been there. And it's just part of getting familiar with technology and improving. And that's what experience gives you. It gives you those lessons. You learn from your mistakes. It's the best way of learning, I think. I've spent days, sometimes weeks, trying to figure out something that's relatively simple. And once you learn these things, you don't make those mistakes again. Or you do, but you fix it in 10 seconds, not in 10 hours. So anyway, enough rambling, I think. What I've just done there is included the logo I made in the nav bar, which is pretty nice. So I'm just checking the name of the color, and I'm gonna make the nav bar a nice yellow, so the brand yellow, so the wolf yellow, should I say. So always remember to upload the dist folder. And it's done that thing again where I need to empty cache and hard reload, and then it's done. Very nice. Looks a bit naff because the links need changing, so we're just gonna have a little tidy up now. I'm gonna remove, I'm gonna cut this bit out because it goes on for a little bit, but I'm gonna just remove the parts that I don't want, which is that little drop down on the right. We don't need that. We haven't got any sort of reason to keep that in, so that's going. I'm just trying to figure out which end tag is the correct one to delete, and I did it correctly first time, which is a bit of a miracle. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, just tidying that up. Just a quick note, because I had a comment the other day about it looking about your CSS looking messy. Sorry, your HTML. If you use a VS Code extension called inline fold, and I think Tailwind might have one called Tailwind fold potentially. Oh, just kicked the ball. Then that hides all your classes, because there are a lot of classes with Tailwind. So it hides them, so you can actually see your markup a lot clearer. Just a little hint for you. Worth using. Do you see mine? They've got the 3 dots in the class where the classes are. Makes it a lot easier to read. So this is quite important what I'm just doing now. I'm including alpine.js so I can make my responsive mobile navigation work. So when I click the button, it hides and shows it and hides it. So this is actually referenced in the Tailwind docs. They recommend to use alpine.js. It's amazing. It's free. I think they do have paid components maybe, but what we need it for is completely free. It's so good, so good. Makes everything easy. So we can see here, you basically can create a variable within your HTML, and then you can like set it to values and things. So you've got open is false, and then click the button, open is true, and then you have a display the div if open is true. Just really good. You'll see what I'm doing. And it's really self-explanatory as well, which is why I'm just copying their starter example, and it works for what we need it to do. So yeah, use these things. I don't recommend I know a lot of people be like, oh, you could just do that with plain JavaScript really easily. Yeah, but you're prone to making errors. This is tried and tested. Someone has made this and it's amazing. Just use these things. If it's about speed, just use these tools that are there to make your life easy. You still need to have a clue what's going on. I'm not saying be an idiot. See, now you'll see that the nav's working. You still need to know what you're doing, but it's about getting stuff done quickly. As you'll see in this video, we're going to make not a whole website, but a good starting point for a live website. Very good starting point. Like, it will be enough for a whole website. It's just we will keep adding content to it as we go. So you see the speed at we'll see how quickly we can get something up looking good. It's incredible. When you just don't get bogged down, don't be a perfectionist, just get it up, get it live, build it live like I'm doing. When you build it live, you know exactly what you need to prioritize, and it's the content and making it just look finished. So not leaving things half empty. So yeah, trust me, just make your life easy. So what I'm doing now is quite important. So I'm actually on advanced custom fields here, and I'm creating a field group. I'm calling it flexible. So this is going to be the only field group we need for this website. So I'm publishing it, and I've made sure that it's available on posts and pages. So it needs to be on pages because that's what our homepage is, a page, not a post. And then we need to, what am I doing here? I think maybe I start faffing for a little bit where I'm trying to get my bearings. Yeah, I'm just faffing getting my bearings right now. I'm trying to add a flexible content. So it wasn't appearing on the screen. So I'm zooming out to try and show you. It's just off camera, but you're just going to trust me. It's in that list. It's right at the bottom of that list. You'll see when I click it in a second. Flexible content. And that means that we can make reusable components. So that's what we're doing there. So we're creating a flexible content it's called. And then we can add layouts to this flexible content. So we can add a hero we can add a call to action, we can add a simple text area, we can add anything, features. So this is the power of advanced custom fields. I think it's gonna, if you're not familiar with it, it's gonna blow your mind, and it's gonna make you really realize, wow, this is how WordPress should be done. It is good. So what I'm gonna show you now is how to make a hero. This is where I'm faffing. I am going to show you how to make a hero component. So there are a couple of steps we need to take. We need to add the tailwind to our theme. So we need to add like a hero component to our theme. But first we need to add this advanced custom field loop, which is a little bit like the WordPress loop for displaying posts. So it will just loop through all of your advanced custom fields, and then within the loop it has an if statement, and you say if it's a hero, we're going to output this hero template file. You're going to see. So we're going to call this, so if flexible exists, which is the name which we're about to see here. Not that one, that's the field group, but it's this one. That is, yeah, so if flexible field is there, we then loop over flexible, which we're also going to do now. I'll put links to advanced custom fields in the description, so you can check this out for yourself. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say if the layout is hero, which you're about to see, this is going to make sense, trust me. If it's hero, then do something, and the thing that we're going to do is get template part hero.php, which you'll see. I haven't made that yet, but you're about to see it. So we're making the hero layout, and within that hero layout we then add the fields for what we need in the hero component. So like the title, subtitle, call to action button, so the link, the text. So this is what we're saying. If we have a hero field in our page, get template part, and we're going to reference where this file is going to be, which doesn't exist just yet, but we're going to make it in templates parts, and we're going to make a new folder called flexible, and then we're going to make a file called hero.php. I'm thinking about it there. That was that pause. So now we're going to go ahead and make that file. I hope this is making sense. I hope it's making sense. Now, do leave a comment if you have any questions. And, you know, bear in mind, this is just how I do it. This isn't how you have to do it. This is how I do it. I recommend this way, but you're free to do things differently. But this should hopefully just be giving you an idea of, oh, okay, these are options. This is what can be done. This isn't what you should do. What you should do is the workflow that allows you to do your work as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible, and makes your life easy. So just bear in mind, I'm not preaching that this is how you should do it. This is a very good way of doing it, in my opinion. But you do it how you want to do it. But just as long as you can be quick, don't spend weeks doing this. Do it in a day to get a starting point. Please, just do it quickly. Don't get bogged down. Time is money. It's so true. You're going to find months pass by sometimes if you don't just get on with it. So that's kind of the key point I'm trying to hammer home. You want to move fast. Okay, I think I've done that now, so maybe I'll shut up about speed for a couple of minutes at least. So now I've just went into my home page in the WordPress editor, and I'm going to add the hero field. When this page loads, it was taking a long time to load. See, we now got this flexible down here. So you add the hero, update the page, and then when we refresh, we should hopefully see that hero component, which we just put in. We haven't customized it yet. We're just making sure it works. So, spoiler alert, it does work. I think. Don't know what I'm doing right now. It doesn't work. Okay. Basically, I haven't included that flexible.php in the front page template file. So that's what I'm doing now. And then once I've done that, it will work. So your brain does like to play tricks on you, thinking that you've done things when you haven't, and you assume, and you're like, I know I'm right. The computer's wrong. The computer is never wrong. Never. Well, apart from when caching's involved, then it's sometimes wrong. So annoying. So that is working. On that note of caching, I am using for my hosting Cloudways. I really recommend Cloudways. It's so good. It makes life easy. You can do this with any hosting, but I started the video with a different hosting provider and it was a nightmare. I turned all caching off, I cleared and purged the cache, and nothing was changing. I was probably doing something wrong, maybe, but it was an absolute nightmare. So yeah, I've used Cloudways for years now. Very good. Recommend it highly. So I will put a link to that in the description. Probably will be an affiliate link just for transparency. So if you do click it and you do go ahead and sign up, I might get some sort of commission, hopefully. But that's good, right? So yeah, but if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to give me money, then just Google it. But I will put the link below. So yeah, I'm just tidying up now the hero component. I'm just getting rid of those blur effects, like the gradient. Doesn't really, it looks good, but it's not what I want for this website. So just tidying up, and then I'm going to move on to including the title and subtitle and the call to action buttons including them. I'm going to incorporate them into the WordPress editor using advanced custom fields. So that will mean that we can then reuse this hero component on any page we want, and we can use the text from our WordPress website, so it's not hard coded into the template files, which makes our life easier, which is essentially the point of WordPress. Is a content management system. So we're going to pull our content from WordPress. That's one way of using it anyway. It's like a blogging platform, but content management system commonly used as. So now we're going to add these fields. So we're going to add a header, which is going to be a text field, or heading, should I say. You can call it whatever you want. It's just how you reference it in your template files. So I'm going to make that. And then, yeah, like I said, we're going to make I think I'm going to call it subheading as well. And then we're just going to check that they're working. Once they're working, we're going to go on and make our call to action buttons. So yeah, hopefully you're getting a good idea of how I do things. It is, I mean, sitting here talking, it feels like it's quite a lengthy process, but it's not actually that long when you think about it. If you take out the thinking time, the time when you're just sitting going, what color should I use? Take away those times by using Canva, for example. It does all that for you. You've got the design for your logo. You've got your color scheme. You don't have to think about it. You then go onto Tailwind UI. You pick the components that you like. You didn't have to design any of that. You just have to change the colors, and I'm sure we're all capable of that. I mean, we can see, okay, I'd make that yellow. I mean, that's not exactly rocket science. So use these tools, use them. Make your life as easy as possible. That's what it's about. Don't think, basically. Don't think. So all we really have to think about is the content at this point. We know the process of what we're going to do to build the website. We know we're going to make the logo on Canva. We're going to take the color scheme from that. We're going to use WordPress for the CMS. Did I say CRM before? I think I did. I meant CMS. If I did say CRM, I meant CMS, content management system. So we just then have to think about the content, which is also a drain on your brain. But that's where you don't really have much choice. I know people are using AI to write their content, but it's just, don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. I tried. I know there's better kind of optimized versions using ChatGPT that create the content for you, but I just use ChatGPT just to make some dummy text before, not on this website, and it was bad, really bad, like shocking. And every time I asked it for a different bit of information, it was basically the same sort of format. It was very much the same kind of script it was using every time, which was just rubbish, really. And it did make sense, but it was so generic. Like, you'd have to basically rewrite the whole thing anyway. And it was nice for a starting point, but not good in my opinion. But I haven't used any of the other kind of content writing AI. So, I mean, if there's a good one that you know about, just let me know in the comments. Probably won't use it. Just feels wrong. There's something wrong about it. And I know you're probably going to say, oh, you're all about doing things quickly though. You like to do things fast. Yeah, but that just doesn't sit well with me, to be honest with you. Just doesn't. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to do it. It's your website at the end of the day, but I don't know how well that's going to perform in Google, to be honest with you, because if everyone's making websites using AI written content, it's going to look similar, isn't it? Especially as every time I ask for something, it pumped out basically the same text. So just think about that. Up to you though. You're free to do what you want. So what we're doing here, back to this anyway, probably should talk about this. I'm just making the call to action buttons, and you can add a link component. I keep saying component, a link field in advanced custom fields. And this link, you can either just have it as the URL, or you can have it as the title, URL, and target in an array, which is handy. So that's what we've done here. So we've got the URL, which is obviously the URL, link text, and you can click that there's a little checkbox which we'll see that open link in new tab. So that will be the target, which I think is just a boolean probably. So you just say, well, you'll see. I'll do it in a minute. So that's what we've done here, and I'm just going to check that now so you can see that how we do that as well. And I think at this point I had a bit of a brain meltdown. I couldn't remember I couldn't remember the keys for the array of the link, if that makes sense. So I had to just quickly look them up on Advanced Custom Field website, but it was really handy. It was all there. I think I just tried to be cheeky and just output the I tried to just output it, and I thought it was going to just show the array, but I don't know why. It didn't. No, I know why it didn't. It just doesn't. I don't know why I thought it would. It's just trying to take a shortcut. But this just shows you don't need to memorize exactly how to do everything. You just need to know the concept of what you're doing. All the information is online. So as long as you know roughly what you're doing, you can go, oh, okay, yeah, I just need to look this up. Look, I just looked that up, and then I saw, oh yeah, look, URL, title, target. And it just jogged my memory. You don't need to get bogged down in trying to memorize everything. I used to do that at the beginning. I would just go through the process of installing like WordPress, for example, and I would be trying to learn how to do it, how the steps involved. There's not many steps involved, but when I was just starting, I spent all my time just doing new installation, just going through that process, because it was a false sense of achievement. I felt like I was achieving something because I was like, oh, I know this. It was my comfort zone. You need to just keep on pushing and pushing to get past that. You don't need to stay doing the easy tasks that you can do over and over again. You just don't need to. So As long as you know roughly what you're doing, then that's all you need. That's all you can be asked of you. You don't need to know exactly everything off the top of your head memorized. I don't know barely anything off the top of my head memorized. So just, use Google, use the internet to help you, okay? You can do it. Basically, you can do it. You can get, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm the fastest in the world, but you can build stuff this quickly, no problem. Trust me. Just use the tools available to you and you'll be fine. And like I was saying before, it's all about speed. You want to just not get bogged down, because if time goes by, if a week goes by between you starting your website and then you still haven't finished it after a week, I know a website in general is an ongoing process. You're constantly adding content, but if you haven't got the basic, like a homepage done, and you're still tweaking things before you've even done the content, you're gonna lose motivation. If it's like a personal project, you're gonna lose motivation. It's never gonna get finished. If you don't put it live quickly, same thing's gonna happen. So I do recommend going live from the beginning. Maybe not if it's a client website, because obviously it's their reputation. But if it's your own work, if it's your own project, your own website, go live from minute one, day one. You don't need to do it local. You just don't need to. No one's going to be on your website if it's a brand new domain. No one's going to even be looking at this. So just get it live as soon as possible, like I have done here. So as you can see, I'm just tidying up the hero component, just matching the brand and just going through the buttons and making sure that it looks right, because obviously there's a lot of the standard classes that come with Tailwind UI need changing. I say standard classes, that the design they had, I need to now change it to the brand that we've just created. So that's what we're doing now, just going through, changing the text to black, just so it's just proper. And it's starting to look like a bit of a website. Starting to get there. Now, that should give you an idea of how to use Tailwind Tailwind UI and advanced custom fields. What I'm going to do now is cut, and I'm going to show you what I did, because I can't show you the Tailwind UI components that you have to pay for. So I'm just going to go ahead and blitz through them. Well, I have already. And then I'm going to show you the end result. And I think you're going to think it looks good. So that's what we're going to do now. See, I didn't want that call to action basically. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we're back. And this is what the finished so far website looks like. So as you can see, I changed the color and I changed the padding of the hero, and I think it looks pretty nice. Very simple, very clean. I like that it's all yellow, but again, I didn't put too much brain power into this. I just changed the colors to yellow and black, and it looks good. And just deleted some of the classes to make the padding smaller. So I left the padding for the smallest size and I got rid of the others, because I think the reason it was so much padding was because they had that gradient effect, which was why it was necessary. But we obviously got rid of that, so I just got rid of it because it looked a bit weird. So that's that. I then made a little text section. So this is with advanced custom fields again. This was just a call to action. I deleted the buttons and I just kept the main heading and the subheading section. So a little text section and then a little call to action. So pretty simple stuff. Looks clean. You would obviously add more content as you go. So this was just a starting point. So we've got the hero, we've got a bit of information, we've got a call to action, and I did a footer as well. Probably would change the text color in the footer, probably. Looks a bit weird. But that's where we're at. So simple, quick. Did it in a couple of hours in total. So you don't need to spend hours. I'm going to stop talking about that now. You get the point. Just quickly, I did get thinking, and I did do something else afterwards. I just went ahead and just built a little starting point for the software as a service. So feel free to visit this website. You can sign up, create an account, and I just thought a nice idea might be to actually turn this into a real software as a service and see if we can actually make money from it. See what happens, really. Might be interesting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it away for free to anyone that signs up from now till I don't know when. But if you sign up now, it's not actually active, but you'll have an account and I will know that you've signed up. And then when I actually build it properly, you'll have free access. So go and have a look. If you want to sign up, see what it's all about, go for it. If you don't do what you want. But that's where we're at. So that's quite interesting. So that was a long video. There's a lot of information. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, that's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. Probably talking to one person that's made it this far, probably myself when I watch it back. But if you have made it, leave a comment and let me know that you've made it, and I'll respect you. I will. So thank you. What can you do?